Welcome back, and this is the second of 3 pieces for putting together our book with stationery on the inside. Now, last time we put together the group of items that were the pockets. I just unhide them and we dealt with the book cover. Today we're going to deal with some of the inserts and the backup pieces. Now, this particular one is going to be the backing in behind the pocket. So let me just show you what that is. So if you take a look at the one we've already done here, let me just pull out my pieces here. This is the backing piece that we're dealing with. Now this is just plain. I like to have it plain so that we can do different things inside here. But we are going to need 2 of these so that they fit inside. So let's go back to Design Space. And we know we need 2 of these, but before I do that, I'm going to change the color. And we just want them plain, so let me just make this a yellow one. Simple things, so I'm just going to hold down the Alt key and duplicate. You can duplicate so many different ways. You can duplicate through the layers, you can duplicate by holding down the Alt key and dragging away, and you can duplicate through using Edit and then copy and paste. And you can also pick duplicate from here as well. So many different ways to do that. Okay, so these 2 are, of course, I'm going to group them, and I'm just going to name this. This is the backing for pockets, just so I know what it is. And for now, I'm just going to hide it. I like to hide things. Now here's where we're going to have some fun. I like to write things on one side of course, a notes piece, and on this one I like to add perhaps a design. So if I'm going to do a print then cut with this particular one, I want to change the color to white. That way it won't print the blue plus whatever else I put on it. Now for this particular one, I'm also going to change the color to white. Now I have choices here. I can use a print then cut or simply use a Cricut pen to draw things out. Let's start with the smaller one, and that's going to go in the small pockets on the edge. Now these are going in here. I've just cut out some yellow ones here. So those are going on this side. For the one we're doing today, I have cut out a few little notepad pieces and I put a little flower in the corner. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can leave them quite plain like this, or you can add a design. What we want to do on this one is add a little design and then flatten it and then cut out as many as we need at that point. So I want you to come over here to Images, and I'm going to go to Home and Garden and just see what images are here. First thing I want to do is I'm going to click on Free, because we don't want to end up spending more places than we need to. So let's go Garden. There's nothing I really want in there. Let's go back to All. So let's go for flower here. Search for a flower. There's nothing here, and all subcategories. So let's go back to our categories and search for flower here, because we have not selected anything. So I'm going to browse all images. Okay, and I've got to type flower in once again. Interesting. So you can see there's a number of different free images that you can use. So you can pick anything that you want. All the free images will show up as you need them, or you can, if you have access, you can grab other ones. So you can pick any design you want, or you can upload one that you have. Now for the floral design, I'm going to pick on this one, and I'm going to add it to the canvas. It's going to be fairly large. Now what I want to do with this, because I don't want plain black and white, I'm going to start using contour. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to grab a copy of this and just leave it off the side so I have the original, but I'm going to come here to contour. I'm going to hide all contours, click the X. Now I have a background color that I can use if I want to put this one over top with a color. So let's make this a nice little color. Let's go with that yellow again. And then what I can do is, oh, let's move this to the front, arrange, bring to front. I can simply sit this on top and it will give me a nice little color. Now, what I want, of course, is to have all kinds of different colors in the different spots with the yellow showing through at the back. So let's grab this one and I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to click on contour. And if we want these petals all to be the same, first of all, I'm going to hide them all and then I'm going to let different colors appear. So maybe I want 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to click the X and oh, it got different ones. Okay, I'm going back to the contour here. Okay, let's hide them all. All right, let's pick the ones we want. 1, 2. I don't want that one. I want this one and this one. So we've got 3 selected. Let me just scroll here. All right, you have to remember which 3 you picked, and then I'm going to click the X. Great. Now, what I can do with this is change the color. So if I want a nice orange, now I've got an orange color that's going to fit over the top here. Got the yellow showing through. Now, what I want to do next is take another copy of this, and I'm going to contour it. I'm going to hide them all, and we did 1, 2, 3. So I want this one, and this one. Click the X. All right, I've got different set of colors here. So now what I want with this particular one, I want a different color. So what's going to go well with the orange? Let's go with a little mauve. I can put that over top. Now we've got the orange and the mauve. And then of course lastly I can bring this one over top. Now I don't sure if I want black for this one. Black is not my favorite thing, but let's go with a nice dark green. As you can see, I get lots of different colors going on here. So let's go here to align and make sure everything's lined up. It is. Now I am going to flatten it. Perfect. So now I'm going to make it a lot smaller. This is a little design we've put together. So hopefully you've learned a little bit about contour. Now this is going to be going on every single one of these cards. So what I want to do is I don't want this to cut out separately, and I want only the outside to cut. Now we've already flattened the little piece. I'm going to flatten again. Now what I get is something that I can print, then cut. So let's go ahead, and you might want to have 10 or 20 of these cut out. I'm going to use 8.5 by 11 white cardstock when it goes to my printer to do the print then cut. So I'm guessing I probably need, I'm going to say 20 of these. So let's just hold the Alt key down. I'm waiting for a little plus sign. Can you see that plus sign? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. So if I want 20, there's 5. I'm going to hold the Alt key down. Remember, I highlighted all of them. I've got all 5 selected, as you see here. And then I'm going to make 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, and I should have 4 copies altogether here. 1, 2, 3. So it's 5, 10, 15. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe I need to make one more. Okay, Alt. Make sure I get the plus sign, and then we'll push this over here. All right, I have quite a few of these. I can decide once I get into doing the make part whether I want to cut them or not. So let's, for now, let's just group these, and I'm just going to hide it here. Oh, let's go back here just a minute. Let's not do that. Let's put this, I'm going to call this small. inserts. Try to remember to name everything as you go through. I noticed with the group here, I didn't name it, so I'm just going to double click on it, and it is, I've got the backing, I've got the back cover, and this must be the large insert, in large pocket. Remember to name them so it's so much easier to go back and figure out what you've done. Okay, so let me grab this. These are the small inserts. Now we have one more insert that we have to deal with. Now I like to have like notes or something else written on it. So let's go grab some text. And I'm just going to put notes. Now of course the font is not my favorite. If we go here, we want to find sort of the free ones that we can get into. Now I had picked one called Justina. And you'll see it does not find it here. So I must have had it on my system. So let's try Justina on my system. And there it is. Now I'm going to provide you with this font, Justina font. It will come with your template when you get it. So it'll be part of it. So you will have to upload or install the font to your system, and once you've done that, it will become available inside of Design Space. So let me just click on Justina. It's going to take a second, and then I'm just going to X this out. Now I've got the word notes, which I want up here. Now it's really large, and it's 72 font size. Nobody has 72, so let's try 24. That's pretty small. Let me just zoom in here a bit so we can see what we're working with. Now notes, maybe a little bigger. Let's try 32. I don't want to go much bigger than that. That's like a heading 1. Now what I want to do is just highlight both of these. I'm going to align them, but I'm going to center them horizontally and then decide how high up I want this. Now the issue here is this is a basic cut. It's in black. Now there's two things you can do here. You can do a flatten with this so you get it to do all the printing and all the cutting, so it's a print then cut, or you can have a pen do this, and then you can decide how many of these you want. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to a draw a pen. Now one of the things about the pen, you'll see the black that is here. You can choose now a color. So if I go raspberry, I can also choose the type of pen I want to use. So I can use extra fine, I can use fine point, I can use a glitter gel, I can use a gel pen, and you'll see all the different sizes. So if I want this huge one and I pick gold, you'll see that you don't get much definition on it. I can also go, that's 2.5. Let's try a marker at 1, and let's try a blue. As you can see, the words are not that definitive, and that is a 1 point. Now let's try a glitter gel. Now you'll notice that it is a little easier, but not that great. So that's a 0.08. So fine point seems to give it more definition and a little bit of flair that goes with it. So let's go with a 0.4 millimeter and raspberry. All right, now since that is pen, I need to grab both these together. I need to attach them. And on the attach here, I am going to call this notes. Just notes. I guess notes will do. And now I know I have my notes pieces. Now I can decide how many of these I want. I'm going to end up with lots of notes, notes, notes. So let's take the first one here. We know we've got them attached. Let's just grab the Alt key with the little plus sign. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe 10 copies. What I'm going to do with this, of course, is align, and I'm just going to line them center. We've got all 10 together, and just simply group them, and then I can call this notes. And I know I've got everything put together. So now we have our notes for the inside pages. We have our small inserts. I'm going to show that. It's probably behind here. And I'm going to show the backing with the pockets. I'm going to show the large pocket, and I'm going to show the book cover. So it's all here. Let me just zoom down so we can see that we've got everything. Let me go 75%. Okay, I think we look good here. Let's just take this and yeah, that looks good. So we've got everything we want. We've got the notepads, we've got the print then cut, we've got the notes pieces that will cut, simply draw and cut on our Cricut. We have the backing pieces, we have the book cover, and then we have the pockets. All right, we are now ready for tomorrow, and tomorrow what we're going to do is put the whole thing together to get our gorgeous little book, and you're going to love the way this comes together. It is so easy, it is so wonderful, but I do want to talk about how we're going to cut it just before I leave you today. So let's just click on make. I've already saved one of my own, so I'm not going to save it. I'm going to put don't save for this one. Here's what I would like you to do. So we know we get 6 per page for these, and I made a whole bunch of them, and we have 1 extra at the bottom. So I know we can't fit anything else on. So what I'm going to do with this extra one, because I don't want to cut an extra sheet, I'm just going to come here and I'm going to hide it, and it has nothing on it. Therefore, I'm only doing 4 print then cut sheets. All right, let's take a look at the next pieces here. Now, I don't know about you, but when I cut something out with a design on the back, I don't want things to be sideways. They need to be straight up and down, and this is not working. We have 1, 2 that are up and down. So let's just take this one, and I'm going to move the object, and I am going to move it to this one. You can see there's only 2 here. I'm going to confirm it. Now I want to just change that back up the right way. Hopefully I can get it pretty straight. And that will come up here, so we can cut 3 per page. Now if I used a longer mat, I could probably get them all on that one. So we have 3, 6, 9. Our 10th one here is going sideways. I'm going to let you cut one of these out this way just to see what the difference is. I don't recommend it. What I would do here is just allow myself to cut 9 and hide that particular object, and that gives me 9. Nothing is telling you you have to have that many. So we have 3 of those, and these are pen then basic cuts. Now you'll notice with the size here, I can get away with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper to cut all of these out. So 8.5 by 11 for all of those. When it comes to my printer, these are all 8.5 by 11. What I would like with this is you to have a backing of the white on top, and the backing, of course, a pattern paper of some sort, and that will be just perfect for what you're trying to do. All right, let's take a look at these other pieces. This one, I want you to have it really plain. So pick a color that's going to match the colors that you have. And then our book cover, of course, I want something crazy on the outside and something a little more tame on the inside. So you want double-sided pattern paper here. And then for the pockets, and of course the little piece that's going to go for your pen, same thing. You want a nice pattern on one side. The inside does not really matter. So you could have a 2-sided pattern here and mix and match them, put them inside out or upside down. I like a pattern paper. Whether you use double-sided pattern or a single-sided is entirely up to you. I use the double-sided to make that look good. So everything seems to be in order. I've hidden the extra little pieces so you are not cutting out anything extra. All right, let's get ready for tomorrow when we're going to put the whole thing together. So let's go ahead, continue, hook everything up, and just make sure everything is going to work for you. And we are ready to put the whole thing together. So let's get it cut, and I will see you tomorrow on the assembly.